There's already 4 of us waiting. He must be the 4. There's only 3 waiting.
And we're one of them.
Oh my god.
This YouTube.
It says now live. Am I just not on the channel of this? Oh yeah.
Oh,
We're good. Hey, how's it going, guys? This is good.
Hello.
Hello. How you guys doing?
Hello, everyone.
Jamie, how does it feel?
Yeah, welcome to the Q&A for our Strip Sessions, for the Strip Sessions EP that just came out today. Hope you guys enjoy it. We decided to do some of the Eternal Ember songs down in a strip fashion. We like to do different tests where we kind of strip away parts and make sure that the song is solid in the bare structure of it and sounds good. We call them like campfire tests, and we wanted to keep some good content going from the album, and we decided to just actually record it, lay it down, and got access to a grand piano, and the guys put down some nice, stripped back sessions from some of our favorite songs from the album, and so hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, so if you guys have any questions about the Stripped EP or the videos or just anything in general, just feel free to hop in the chat, shoot us a question, and we will answer. And if no one asks us questions, we'll sit here very quietly.
I have a question, James.
Oh, yeah.
I think the campfire testing came from you. I think.
Must have heard, yeah.
Where did you hear that? What is that?
I must have heard it somewhere, like specifically the phrase campfire test.
Yeah.
Because it's a good phrase.
Maybe.
I don't know.
It is.
Yeah, I don't know. It must probably some podcast or something, some audio production podcast or one of those ones. This has been around for a while. This is
Hanging out with audiophiles,
the creative act. Maybe.
That's a good podcast if you guys haven't heard it. Hanging out with audiophiles. It's a basically mostly music production podcast where this producer Jamie Liddell interviews musicians or producers, and it's really cool. You get a lot of insight
to it.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
That's awesome.
What's your favorite one?
Ooh, that's tough. There's a lot of good ones. Like, there's a good Tycho one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably blanking on the best ones I've actually heard though. I think. What's your favorite Hang Out with Audiophiles?
There's a really good Unknown Mortal Orchestra one.
Oh yeah.
Just saw
2 nights ago.
Yeah, he's talking all about his tape process and the amount of times he runs it through tape and stuff.
It's from a while. It's from the
that's
Multi-Love era, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe Sex and Food. Not sure.
Oh, maybe.
Did we haven't listened to those in the band?
I don't think
mostly,
so. We listened to especially recently that one. Tape Notes?
Yeah, Tape Notes.
Tape Notes
is good too.
Yeah.
That's
that one's more song specific.
I'm too deep in history podcasts right now.
There's a good one called Recording Studio Rock Stars or something that I just listened to. It's Sean Everett talking about mixing. That one's really good.
I haven't heard that. Okay.
Do I see a question?
How do your ideas progress as you write a song? Are your ideas more small and specific at first, or more big picture? And how do the ideas change throughout the process?
Good question.
We could all separately answer that almost.
Yeah.
Or just different song to song.
Yeah, song to song varies. I'd say for me, there's usually an initial spark where there's a riff or something like that, and I'll lay it down in Ableton. I don't know, a bass line, a guitar part, a synth part, and that'll kind of end up being the kind of, I don't know, the core of the song that I then bring to the guys and we then build around. It does vary very much. I'd say on average it's usually more of a big picture idea that we then kind of refine. Sometimes it's just a verse and we'll build a song around that.
Yeah.
It's all over the place.
I think it's usually inspired by a musical part. And then it's brought in to the guys depending on some level of progression. Sometimes, like Ian said, it's a small part. Sometimes it's, more of a full song. But I think it usually starts with an inspiration. Even the songs that are brought in, like Love Again, probably start from just that inspiration of that synth or something, right? Just as it pops up from an idea of usually, I guess, an instrumental kind of piece, right?
For me, I'd say the inspiration usually starts kind of small and then might quickly grow or maybe slowly grow depending on how it works out. But usually the actual exciting incident of the song would be like just a cool sound or a chord progression that sparks something, or maybe even a melody line in your head that you then try to work around from that. So I don't usually think I have like a big idea that I then try to like make. I think it's the opposite usually for me.
From my perspective, sometimes though, if one of you guys brings something in, it's like, oh, this is like a fully formed song already.
Right.
Obviously, it started from somewhere small.
Oh, yeah.
Like Within You, Within Me is a good example of like, I feel like that song was like almost there, but basically like at its core when
depending
James
how long it
brought
took.
it
I don't know how long that took.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, I'm sure that started with something small, but to me it just appeared out of nowhere.
Probably something exactly.
Inspiring sense of. Yeah, I feel like lyrically, it's never. I've never like written a song like being like, this is what I'm gonna talk about. It's usually like you get the music, and it'll start with like some small thing, and we usually we write like in the room sometimes, but usually things start as like one of us just kind of layering things up and then bringing it to the rest of the guys and working on it, and then that usually informs the lyrics. It's like it's never like I'm going to write about love and then like write a song. It's just like the music usually gives you a certain vibe and kind of like directs you a certain way.
And expanding on that towards like a full album, I think once we get a full like range of songs, then we can kind of figure out the theme of the album or figure out what songs belong in an album and make it a bigger piece. But it doesn't really start as like we're going to do an album with this theme and then we put songs into that. It kind of just step by step it comes together, and we find what themes are kind of overlapping, and then we'll put a piece together from that.
I guess because we're going through similar things in life or just different things, but like Eternal Embers, I was like, now I can look back at it and like see like themes that run through the whole album and stuff, and like ways that really flows into each other in a nice way. But it was never like that was like 4 different people's perspectives that just kind of for whatever reason were like seemed to slot into each other nicely. So
shout out to Fernanda.
Hey,
hello.
Fernanda,
you're always back to Chile.
Hopefully we'll come to Chile someday soon.
Somebody found our music yesterday. Wow. That's fun. Thanks for joining.
Belgium, hey.
For Belgium.
California. Soak My Head, love.
Soak My Head. Nice. Love it.
Tell us more about the locations. Okay. I guess the first ones we did do were the Cypress Mountain ones. I think that was James's idea. And we basically just had the thought, like we were thinking, like, how do we actually record without power? So we decided, maybe we should just use the van as like a generator, because we have this little 12-volt wall AC adapter. So we just basically drove our van up there with our stuff, interfaced instruments, and parked it as close as possible to the location, and just ran like a really long extension cord out, and had to run the van, unfortunately.
That's a bit environmentally friendly.
You're not supposed to idle in DC ever, I don't think. But it was a generator, so it's different.
It was a generator.
There was actually parks guys there that were nice about it. They let us finish what we're doing, but they said you're not supposed to. And they're like, but they'll let us be.
Once the budget goes up, then we can do the Jack Johnson solar powered studio. But,
Is that what he has? That's sick.
But
in Hawaii.
But for now, that's how we have to do it.
I remember it being very, very hot that day that we filmed on Cypress.
Worst sunburn ever.
Somehow only Jamie. I don't think I wore sunscreen, but maybe I did.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just
Sun was like, this guy.
I was noticing that when I was like hiking the other day. I was like, I feel like recording on mountains is like kind of a good place to record because it's so quiet.
True.
It's like so quiet.
So you get those birds.
So you get those guys that like blast the music on the way up the trail.
Can't stand that. I hate that. But like I don't know. At Elfin Lakes, it's another mountain park close to us. It's like it's very quiet up there. It's like you can record in the open air on a mountain. It sounds good.
Just what are the other location?
The other one was my girlfriend's parents' house, because I knew they had like a piano, and they were going away on like a little trip for a while. So it was
co-opted it.
Yeah, it was a good little space to do it in.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was really nice.
See all the B-roll. If you look at the videos, the full one, there's just like some nature inserts in between the songs, and that's all just the views from the patio right outside, basically.
Yeah,
so
the place is
it's all just super gorgeous stuff around there.
Which song do you like the most, and why? Ooh, that's a good question. It kind of varies day to day for me. From the strip session specifically,
Yeah.
It Could Grow Anywhere, I think, is my favorite. That was one of the first songs that, like, it started as, like, a very synth-heavy kind of thing, and that was, like, one of the first songs we actually, like, stripped back and tried acoustically, and I just loved it from the beginning that way, so I've always had a soft spot for that one. In general, right now, probably Absentee. I just love jamming on that ending. And I just love the haziness of it.
Yeah.
How about you guys?
I do agree that It Could Go Anywhere is one of my favorite stripped down versions of any song that we do. So that's up there. I would say that another one I really thought came together really, really well. I thought all the piano ones were really nice, but I really liked Another Quiet Sunday. I just like how that guitar line plays with the piano line, cool. Like on the piano is really cool.
That is you guys did well with that.
I really like that one. And then in general, it's a lot harder to pick.
Going back to an earlier question, Another Quiet Sunday, that original demo was another one that kind of appeared to us from James. It's like almost completely done.
Yeah.
That was cool.
I think actually the record only has James and Jamie on it. I don't think we have any layers on that song. Actually,
we consulted on it.
That
was our job as special consultants.
That room from the cabin with the extra boomy kind of echoey, reverby drums was like a big part of that percussion like sound.
Yeah.
Like I was like, once I heard that in that room, I was like, oh, I want that to be the sound of like a big fat kind of little bit of reverb on them. Yeah.
For back to that one about favorite songs, probably also for the strip ones, It Could Go Anywhere, just because it's so different, and also like feel like Stands Alone is like a really nice version of that song. And then in general, I haven't listened to the album or like either album in a long time now, but I really do. I don't want to just repeat it, but I really like playing the Absentee live. It's really fun.
Why do you think
that's probably the most fun live?
I'm gonna go with that one.
To be different for the strips than for what's left. I think, Within You Within Me works really nicely. I think it's gorgeous. And I thought Do You Ever One was kind of cool because it's quite different from the studio one. Like, it's a very dancey, like, high energy one, and then it feels very somber and, like, mellow.
It changes a lot.
How it changes in a nice way.
Yeah, it's cool.
Like, especially the verses with normally the echoed out, like, side-chained vocal.
It's
just sort of like
drums.
a drone.
Do You Ever Wonder has been one of my favorite moments of like our live show.
It is fun too, live. Yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah,
it's
a good energy.
Fancy energy.
Yeah. Only Your Eyes is really fun too.
Oh, I love that one. Yeah, I really like playing that.
It's a good combo.
It's one of my faves. When inspiration hits, do you guys stop and write it down, or do you go somewhere together to create something new?
Well,
it depends.
It's rare that we're all together when inspiration. I mean, it happens sometimes, but for the most of the
inspiration never hits when we're together.
It's just. I mean, it's. I guess that's not true. That's not true. I guess inspiration hits more when we're actually working on something actively than when it's just like out of the blue a new song appears.
Yeah. There's been a few moments we've been getting together to work on new stuff recently, and there's been a few moments where we have a demo that's like just a verse.
Yeah.
And we'll say, okay, like, let's all, like, separate for 10 minutes or 15 minutes and try and figure out some kind of change. We'll come back together, and
it's a good test. Then we show different ideas. Yeah. I was thinking that question more as, like, when a brand new idea comes to mind, inspiration strikes. Not
I see. Yeah.
It could be any part of the process that happens, obviously.
Voice notes is my best friend when inspiration hits. I have all kinds of voice notes of me just humming almost tunelessly. Into my phone and then pick it out later. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I was going for.
For me personally, I find it's like very unusual for me to just be like doing my day-to-day thing and then like get hit with like a musical idea. It's usually like I'll just be like fucking around in the studio, something, and then something will happen.
Does it ever happen when you're like hiking or like no? Yeah.
I find when I'm dog walking a lot.
Like, that's what I'm wondering. Just kind of
stuff going on, and all of a sudden I'll be like, oh, is that something?
Or how? Yeah. That's what I was
probably just like.
Sometimes when I get random stuff too.
Because a lot of the songs start with like the instrumental.
Yeah.
I feel like it's probably like
if
I was more of like just a straight up singer and that's like what I did.
Yeah.
Then maybe when you're walking around,
something melody or something.
Actually, I don't know if that's anything we've had made yet, but I've definitely had voice memos where I'm in the car and just a melody or something, or pull it maybe the music in the head, or shower too for me.
Yeah, the shout out. I was just gonna say
Shower
from
help.
our new batch of demos that will be heard sometime in the future.
We hope.
One of my favorites of my personal contributions was New Year's morning. I was having a shower, and then all of a sudden I just like had this bass line idea in my head, and I like immediately got out of the shower and like went to the computer and like started working on it. And, like the whole demo kind of just like
stark naked.
I think I put
Dripping.
something up.
New Year's morning, damn.
And
That's
in
why it's called
terms
New Year's
of
Day.
yeah.
in terms of going somewhere after inspiration hits, this would be the place where we most often go to work through the inspiration. This studio space is kind of where we come together and put those inspiring ideas together. And you know, we've been to the cabin before to do journal number stuff. So, but yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
Shout out to Manila, a music group, somebody in Manila.
Hello from Czechia. Oh, hey.
Czechia.
My mom's born in Prague. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. I'm going to be there. What did he ask? How did we come up? Oh, there you go. How did you come up with the name Melt? Ooh.
James?
I don't know if I have a good answer. Yeah, we're like, it's so hard to think of band names, honestly. And then every time you get one, you're like, oh, it's already taken.
Yeah.
So it was like, we wanted something, like, I like this band, Junip, a lot. And I was like, that word is just like the band. Like, there's no, like, it's not a real word. And we kind of like had a similar.
Think of juniper berries.
Yes, yeah, it's like, it's funny how it's like part of that word. But yeah, so it was like just having a word that was like, you'd see it written and you'd be like, oh, that is the band. Like, there's no other like meaning behind it really or anything. But yeah, I feel like obviously it sounds like melt, like melting, and I feel like that fits our music well, and it's like kind of like all our influences melting together and stuff. Yeah,
I haven't heard that angle on it before.
Yeah,
it's also to me, it's almost like the most on its primal form. It's almost like the word starts to melt because there's like the double T. It's almost like it's doubling or something.
Yeah,
but it's just in its actual written type, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I think
that's pretty much it. Yeah, nothing too crazy, but I think it fits the sound well.
Yeah.
Someone says, I love Fool of You, man. I remember the cold pandemic nights when I listened to it. It's funny. I feel like a lot of people found this in the pandemic.
Yeah, Fool of You.
I also like that one.
Yeah.
That's
another good
That's
live
another fun
live
live,
song.
yeah.
I think there's a few live sessions that exist out there on YouTube now, but the jam section we do at the end, I love.
It's much bigger live than the studio one, But I like the studio one too.
Someone says, also, I have to mention, you all look buffed and jacked.
Buffed and jacked.
Wow.
You're wrong for
You're
me.
wrong. You're wrong.
You
But I appreciate
this
it.
guy. You're right.
Low threshold for buffed and jacked.
How did we decide on the album cover?
For
the strip sessions? Maybe for the strip sessions?
Must be, we couldn't find any art for a while. I don't know what we were looking for, but
no, I don't think
I tried to make something. I remember I tried to make a square image out of one of the shots of us out in the patio outside. Didn't look that good, though. That was the start. That was the first thing we tried.
I think we wanted to go for something a little more like grounded than our kind of usual surreal kind of thing to reflect the strip session
stripping it
vibe.
away.
And so it's designed by our boy Dave Mullins, who does all of our merch, right?
Yeah, he does
all
our
shirts,
shirts,
yeah.
anything that's like not vinyl, stickers and shirts, and our logo.
So this logo is actually, or an iteration of this logo is our current shirt that we're selling.
Yeah.
And it's inspired by the strip session.
So we couldn't find anything. I just went onto Dave's Instagram and was just looking for inspiration from that guy, and then saw that image and I was like, oh crap, that kind of looks nice. Like it worked pretty well. So
I forgot it existed already.
It existed already. Yeah, exactly. So then we just asked him, and then he was like, yeah. So then we just added the text, and that was it.
We varied it a little too, didn't we?
Oh, we did a little bit. Yeah.
Trees.
It's pretty similar, but yeah.
That's someone danced to Love Again at their friend's wedding.
Oh, that's
awesome.
Really?
Wow, that's fun.
Requested it, in
Wow.
Colorado.
Wow.
Shout out to Colorado.
Nice. Colorado, we had a great show last time we came to
Nice.
Colorado.
Thank you for thinking. Someone says, after a great first album, the second one is always, well, but you did not disappoint. Great music. Great support show. Thank you. Appreciate that.
That's kind. I was a little concerned about that.
The classic sophomore slump.
Yeah, especially since it was my debut on the Melt stage. I was like, oh, is it going to be as good?
Yeah, you ruined the chemistry
I
completely.
just came in here and ruined the band for you guys. Sorry.
No, it was yes.
Just never
Pretty
do
happy with
never
that.
do your best on the first one, and the second one will have to be a bit better.
That's funny. I've seen people talk about that before. I feel because like people say like, oh, you have all your life to write for the first one.
Yeah, which is
That's
funny.
true.
And then all of a sudden it does well.
I
and you
think
gotta
we
write the second.
sidestepped that because we released like 2 EPs before our first album, so
That helped.
it wasn't like the material on the first album had been around for like super long. It was,
That's
like,
true,
It was written for that.
That
Album.
is a good story.
True. It was all new.
And then we also took a long time to write the next stuff, so it wasn't like we
Yeah.
were rushing it.
Yeah. There's
So
Yeah, it's all I guess some of the stuff from Eternal Embers was almost Swim Slowly era, but it was all after.
yeah, what's an example? Like
It was
only-
all after.
No, I
Only
remember like Love
Only
Again
Your Eyes
was
was early.
Love Again was like very close to.
It was during the
Open
session.
Your Eyes.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
the demos for those were like
Yeah.
super close.
Yeah,
Just
Yeah.
a little thread though. Like I
That's
think Only Your Eyes
crazy
was
to
after
think
the
about.
sessions for Swim Slowly, but I remember like
Yeah.
showing Kieran the demo like in a mix session for
Yeah.
Swim Slowly.
That's crazy.
So
That
it was
is a
really
fun
early.
fact.
And then it took
That's
forever to be a
nuts.
finished song though. But
Oh,
Yeah.
forever.
That's
Went through a
Our,
lot of
uh,
jams.
Steve
a
was
fun
there.
fact, though,
Our
yeah.
big goal is to make things quicker. It's like
Yeah.
still make things really good, but like
Yeah.
just work a bit quicker.
It's not been that's not been going well.
Yeah.
For you all.
Thanks for the compliment, Reed, on the drumming. I mostly
Nice.
just play drums, but
And
I did start with piano actually. Funny
you?
enough,
I
I
didn't know
did.
that.
Yeah, I did a year or 2
It's
years of
considered a
piano.
percussion instrument,
Yeah.
technically.
Oh, there you go.
Isn't it?
And,
A string and percussion? 'Cause
and-
it's like a hammer?
Oh, yeah.
I could be wrong.
Maybe. Yeah.
That was a crossword clue for me recently. So.
Really?
I also made a bass guitar in high school and I messed around on it, but I'm not very good. So mostly drums. Mostly drums. Thank you though.
how did you guys meet Low Hum? I listened to them first time at your show. Oh, that's
Oh.
awesome. And love
Thanks
the
for coming.
vibes.
Yeah, they're
What are
sick.
musical artists you look up to? So yeah, we actually, it's kind of weird. We only really knew about Low Hum first because of this YouTube channel we got featured on, Alona Shemries.
I knew
You knew them
I had
before
heard
that?
Low Hum on Spotify.
Oh,
That's
okay.
When?
For me,
How-
it was
how
like
early?
that.
like quite a
point.
while ago. Like I heard that song in
Pre-2019?
Nebraska. Maybe like around.
Around
We were
Yeah.
connected to Low
That's
Hum.
that's
though.
when I knew
Like,
it.
the band was connected
Yeah.
to Low Hum.
That's when I knew it,
Like,
which
in
is
the
probably
streaming world.
I think it was
2021.
Nebraska that I saw on YouTube.
Yeah.
First, yeah.
We were like really highly linked with them
2020.
on Spotify. Oh, 2020, okay.
Yeah.
We're highly linked them on Spotify through like similar artists, and so they came on our radar quick. Like when we spoke to our label about matching some of the artists and seeing where we fall. So they were on our radar early, and then we heard Nebraska, I guess 2020 or something, and
So yeah, I liked them. I didn't know them that well for a while, but I knew I kind of liked that band. And then I realized, then on Spotify, basically, like, if you go to like artists or fans also like, and there's like a few artists that show up as that kind of list.
Yeah.
Low Hum is always the first or second one for like a while now.
Yeah.
So then we thought, hey, let's just message them and see if they're free and want to do this. And they were immediately down, actually, which was amazing.
for touring.
For
Yeah, for
touring,
touring,
yeah.
yeah.
So then that's how we actually physically, the first time we met them was the first show in Seattle. That was the first time.
Yeah, it was
they
supposed
met them.
it was supposed to be like one. We started out being like, hey, do you want to play like one show with us? And then it became like, hey, do you want to like hop on the whole
True.
tour?
We actually just asked them to play LA, and then
Yeah,
and
it
then,
worked
like,
out
they
really
actually
good.
wanted to
They're
do more themselves. They
Yeah.
asked.
super nice guys.
Yeah, they're
like
all
really
sweethearts.
talented.
yeah,
Those guys.
the most fun tour in that sense of
great
having like
show
another
as well.
band. It was our first time
Yeah.
like touring with another band, and
It was
it was the best. They were such
Yeah,
chill
they're great.
guys, amazing music. Like,
Yeah.
would love to do it
Yeah.
again with them.
Really sick.
And their new record is really good. So check
Yeah.
it out if you
Amazing,
haven't heard it.
yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Terra Ita Vida.
We can kind of combine Bruno's question at the end of that one about other musical artists with the other question about which other bands and musicians inspire
Oh
us.
right, you look up to.
Yeah, and which one other ones inspire us
Oh okay.
other than Juno, because we mentioned Juno. Yeah, yeah, lots of bands.
What are the pillars of Melt? I
The
would call
pillars
it
of
the
pillars of Melt. Yeah, it would be like Foals, Tame Impala,
Radio.
Radiohead, Kasabian, Glass Animals, these kind of things would be the, I guess, like the kind of pillars of Melt. But I think we all are hugely inspired initially by like classic rock, Zeppelin, these kind of bands, Stones, Bowie.
That was definitely the growing up phase for sure.
Yeah,
And
the
still
initial
like them.
phase and,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
brought music to us,
Yeah, for
and then modern
I remember the Black Keys being like the first
Yeah,
band when I was younger.
that's
Being
true,
like, this is, I was like
one of those really annoying kids who's like, I only listen
Yeah.
to old
Yeah.
stuff.
Literally exactly my journey
Yeah.
as well. Like,
And then
I
the
was
Black
only
Keys
classic
came out,
rock
I was
guys
like,
and Black Keys.
Yeah.
Anything was like
Anything
Tame
new
Impala. And
Yeah.
That was like
stuff.
the
pop music wasn't.
that was the
for us.
gateway to like more.
That was probably one of the
contemporary
earliest
music.
ones, yeah.
I remember like regretting this so much. In like grade 8, one of my buddies, Rick, was like, "Oh, I'm going to the Gorillaz concert. You should come." I'm
Oh,
like,
fuck.
"Nah,
Oh,
man,
man.
I don't like that new shit."
Oh,
yeah.
And now looking back, I'm like, "Oh, it's so
That's so
stupid."
funny.
That's
Yeah,
great.
Grills
Gorillaz
is
is
another
the
one.
one that's
Yeah,
really one.
really
Yeah.
great.
So there's a ton of stuff we listen to that like, would you'd be very surprised that we listen to. I guess if you think it's like based on what the music sounds like that we make.
Like Idols.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I fucking love Idols. Like,
Queens of the Stone Age is sick.
like, but yeah,
Which is a surprising
me and Ian
music.
love like country music. And
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
Yeah,
like,
very deeply into
Yeah.
folk and country. Yeah. I mean, the songwriting is
Yeah,
relevant
Some
to
punk rock stuff
what
on
we
it
do.
too. Yeah, lots of stuff. There's not much stuff we don't really like, to be honest.
Someone says, notice that the album cover for Eternal Animals looks like the obelisks in the Qatari desert. If that's what they are, why did you choose that imagery for the album cover?
we didn't actually know about those like obelisks like being a physical thing until afterwards. We found out.
Oops.
Because the whole thing with those was like the series of album covers were like these big like to us they looked more like doorways than like pillars. They were like these big like doors, like portals with like
Which is what they are. Like it's referencing that
Yeah.
desert thing, but it's got space
Yeah, yeah.
in the window instead of just black.
so it's like it's kind of like stars in each one. And we looked at it as like the album cover has like a few of them on there, and then all the single covers have like individual ones. So we were like viewing it as like each song is kind of like a portal into another world, sort of, and then the album cover is like shows like a few of those because it's more songs.
being our world
Yeah,
that you
exactly.
enter them from.
While I was competing for swimming, Into
Oh,
the
wow.
Blue sounded in my head. The connection between nature and human music, blah, blah, blah. Very nice things. Thank you guys for that. That's cool because Into the Blue is like, I saw this movie called Life of Jago. And it's all about this like, I'm gonna forget. I think it's in Indonesia or maybe the Philippines. I feel like it's Indonesia. And it's this guy that's like been like a free diver his whole life and comes from like a culture of free diving, and how he's like has this crazy moment where he like faces his fears of like going as deep as he possibly can, and then in doing so he I think he describes it as basically like he unlocks the sea floor because he like goes so deep that his like eardrums burst or something. It's really fucked up. But then in doing that, then he's like able to just go so deep because there's no like pressure issue or something. So yeah, he has like a good metaphor for like facing your fears and stuff. But that's cool that you directly have it for swimming like that.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Ian, there's a question for you there.
Question for Ian. Flat wounds or rounds on a bass guitar. I play flat wounds because these guys played flat wounds. I joined the band in 2018. I'm a guitarist primarily, and then when I joined, I was coming back from university, and I reached out to Chris because I was like, I need a band when I come home. And they had allegedly, they had been thinking about me as well, so it was a beautiful coincidence, and I just started playing bass for them, so it was my first time properly being a bass player.
You had already played some shows with us though.
That's right.
That's true. I had played a few shows with the guys back in
like filling in.
Yeah, filling in
Summertime.
like a few summers.
Summertime, yeah.
But yeah, so there was flat ones on the bass, and I never
which you
turned
fell in
back.
love.
I fell in love. And
Good.
yeah, I don't know. We just
I
prefer
like
like
flat
the
ones
kind of
too.
like, I guess deader sound is how you
Kinda.
describe it. Like
Yeah.
a little more round, and we play with a pick on the bass, so like
I
the
don't-
pluckiness kind of.
I don't like the like brassy sound of like round.
Like
bass
we never
strings.
go for the slap of the bass tone. That twangy.
Yeah,
No,
usually like
flat
smooth,
ones
and we
sound nice.
usually we play bass with like a pick, and I feel like the combo of like pick and flat wounds is
It is
it's
really
just
nice.
super
Perfect.
nice.
Yeah.
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 And palm
sound.
muted,
Palm muted,
pick, flat
palm
wounds
muted
is,
flat.
Yeah, it's
is,
kind of.
is a lovely sound.
when I first
Thanks.
joined, like I had never like played like that before, so it took a while for the guys to
Mm.
Yeah,
whip me into
we're
shape.
pretty militant about you must be palm muting.
Yeah.
Would we ever consider releasing official tabs and/or sheet music?
Ooh.
Trying to
If
figure
we
out.
work with somebody that wants to help us create that stuff,
Yeah, I
we'd be
think
down.
all of us are musically illiterate. Basically, Ian's got the most like knowledge of theory.
and stuff.
I could
That would
painstakingly
be-
tab it, but man, I wouldn't
Yeah, that
want
would
to,
be
though.
quite the
Be a lot of
task
time.
to tab everything.
I could
If
do.
there's a demand, if
Someone out there
I guess,
thinks
well,
they
let's
can
see
do a
that.
good job, then you could like
Yeah, that would be the way to
So
do
we
it.
can
Someone-
set up a video call
someone-
and teach you the music, and then
you can be you
Yeah.
can consult.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think we can do that by ourselves.
Record a video of us playing the song, and then
Yeah.
someone out there can
Transcribe
tab
Yeah,
it.
yeah. That's what we do. Yeah.
or we can send the stems of it if someone wants to actually make that.
Yeah, but then you'd be like, what string is this?
Sound it out.
Hey,
Yeah,
please
learn by
hear.
ear. Is there someone or a band you'd like to do a collaboration with? Yeah, I feel like that we've been talking more about that. It'd be really cool to do some collaboration with some artists. I feel like I don't know. Maybe we should be like talking to these people before we publicly. Maybe it's good to put it out in the world. But I feel like Low Hum is someone that after that tour we felt like definitely like we were on the same page in a lot of things musically. So that would be a really cool one to collaborate with. I feel like our goal would be to work with someone who does something that we just like can't do or like has like a completely different mindset for some things. Like I feel like the idea of working with like female vocalists could be really cool because it's
Melody Prochette would be like a dream collab.
Oh,
I'd say.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
yeah.
Huge
There's like a
fan
whole
there.
dream list of people that, and then yeah, like producers like that could be really cool.
Recommend people you think we should collab with, please.
Yeah, I'm curious what bands you guys like and who you think.
Reed
Yeah,
says
mix
interesting.
after Tokyo T-Room would be opening for you guys would be a dream concert. Yeah, they got some cool stuff for sure. Yeah,
I don't
that'd be
actually. I've heard the
Yeah.
name. I don't know
I've heard it,
the music.
a few songs. They're actually quite good. I think I actually played some in the band maybe once or twice on tour. Yeah, no, that'd be sweet.
Hell yeah.
Be sweet. I think they're from England, so
Oh,
we go over
if
there.
we
We
ever
could, yeah.
cross the
do a show.
pond. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you guys plan on doing any live shows even when not touring for an album? Yeah, I think so. I think
Especially locally.
yeah, definitely like within BC and Vancouver.
Yeah, if we don't have to
for sure.
get a visa for one show. Like,
Yeah,
It's just the only problem with going to a different country like America for a one-off show is just that it costs us a lot of money to just get across the border to be allowed to do it, which is unfortunate because then it prevents us from just being like, oh yeah, let's just go to Seattle and do a show.
be a lot more
If we want.
sporadic
That's
about it.
the behind the scenes
The reality.
Yeah.
admin reality of
But in Vancouver, I think we
Playing
definitely try to
shows.
do like two to three shows a year, something like that. Regardless,
Yeah.
some
And then
festivals or whatever, that would be unlimited.
we'll see what happens next year. Hopefully,
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
to some places we have never toured before. I don't want to get people too excited in case it doesn't happen. But
That would be nice.
Maybe
Yeah.
return to some places. We'll see.
oh, you discovered us at Catalana Street Party in 2022.
Oh, wow.
That was fun.
Oh, that was a scary show.
I remember.
Yeah,
I
you
remember
tell the story
all
of
of
that
our
show.
shit fucking breaking.
Well, that was the
Yeah.
first time we ever
Oh, God.
Played new album stuff.
played new album stuff.
And
the
with the
first time
new,
we
like-
used like,
It's
a
new system.
Yeah.
new system, like an audio interface,
First time
and like
first time we
in-ears
used
and
in-ears,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
Some bad choices.
And what song did it fail on? Within You, Within Me, I think. Like
Yeah.
our system just
We
failed
just,
on us.
It was a bad. We figured it out now, obviously.
Yeah.
But that was our first trial. It worked in the
was-
room, of course,
If
and
you
then when we
wanna
got to
go-
stage, it didn't work.
Yeah.
Super
That
tech
was one of the
nerdy
roughest
about it.
one.
Then,
Please.
well, not super tech nerdy, I guess, but we were using
USB.
USB
MIDI.
for like our MIDI, which live is just a fucking terrible idea.
Terrible idea.
You always want to use like the MIDI cables, is what we found.
Yeah, just get a
led
MIDI-
to a lot of problems, but it was fun.
But
a MIDI through box.
is there a problem with the samples we were using? Like the samples weren't warped or something like that? Or samples were warped and was causing
I'm
crazy
not sure.
CPU problems? Did we
That
discover
wasn't-
that problem before?
I
Or
don't think
after?
that was what was happening at that show, though. I think the problem was like the MIDI cables were
We're
just
just disconnecting. Or
But
Just
that was a
disconnecting
big
and
problem at
fucking
some
it up.
point, though.
yeah.
Like
maybe
our samples were warped and it was causing
I think that was
huge
more
like,
like
thing
shaking
might have
the
been
sessions.
stuck.
Oh, there's all kinds of fun.
Yeah.
But I remember the deeper water at that show being particularly fun.
Yeah,
That was-
the guitar ones on
Well,
that
yeah,
show were
once we,
good.
like, once we
Yeah,
stopped
once we
using
dropped the laptop. Yeah.
Yeah, but your were you running your vocal through it at the time? Because that's
No.
always the problem. Like, if something breaks your dry vocals.
It wasn't like that then. No, that's only recently.
because that happened 2 tours ago, where something failed.
Yeah, that was
and
that.
Chris's
yes.
vocal
My dry is
dropped,
the
and I
box.
think I was like, "Come sing on my
Yeah.
mic."
God,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
it's the worst feeling when that
Oh,
that
yeah.
stuff
Shout out
stops working.
to Charlotte and
Minnesota.
Minneapolis.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Sorry, guys.
It hasn't
was still
happened
fun
since-
shows. Yeah.
Minneapolis, luckily.
Oh yeah, Vancouver fans, including Bruno. Yeah, just keep an eye out for possible shows this fall. We're got maybe something coming up.
Maybe.
But yeah, just keep an eye out on social media for any dates, any events.
How do you guys come up with the sounds for your music?
Oh.
Like, how do you guys come up with the rhythm for your songs?
The rhythm, Jamie.
With more sounds.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, I don't know. It's all
I mean,
inspiration from
Yeah, it's usually just like
influences.
fucking around with. That's all. It's like a lot of what it is. It's
A lot of
just-
experimenting,
it's-
right?
Yeah, it's just messing around.
Tinkering.
Yeah, tinkering with
Yeah.
different sounds that are just basically just chasing inspiration. Like any synth sound you think is really cool, or like it's less of the workflow now, but a lot of the time for Eternal Embers, it was like going through a lot of like virtual synths,
Yeah.
and then just like
That was
Clicking
like
through
COVID
them,
era, right?
The presets
Yeah.
can be really interesting to fuck with because
you just
like
get
a
such
whole new
yeah.
idea could just kind of come to your mind with a certain sound.
Yeah.
Or
I say for me personally, I come up with a lot of bad ideas before I find something good.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of just like tinkering.
I mean, that's
But,
yeah. I do a lot of like.
it's like fishing.
Sometimes they random like. Yeah, exactly.
You might not catch something.
Yeah.
That's right. You have to fish.
Definitely
to
one if you
catch
don't go
something.
fishing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get something and you gotta release it.
Yeah.
Catch and release.
I'd say for rhythm stuff, for me, it's just like a lot of times the guys will bring in something and we'll have like pretty basic MIDI drums or whatever, and I'll try and just see what's most appropriate for the music rhythmically and go from there. Start simple and then kind of go more complicated from there, then bring it back to more simple. And then sometimes I'll actually, like, aside from just putting drums on some of the guys' demos, I'll beatbox things once they come into my head, and then I'll go
Do you
to the
record
drum
the
kit.
beatboxing?
Yeah.
Oh, I
then
didn't
I
know
go,
that.
but if I'm not around a
Yeah.
drum kit, I'll record
I've never
beatboxes, and then I'll
actually
go to
seen
the drum
beatboxing.
kit. Oh, yeah.
I've heard Chris beatbox.
Sometimes I'll record like patterns like on my lap and stuff too, like different patterns, and then I'll go to the drum kit and like a lot of the drum stuff that I recorded, that was just the drum beats that I sent.
Yeah.
A lot of those were just like initially beatboxes. Then I went to the
That's
drums
cool.
and I was like, oh, I got to figure out how to
Give
like.
us a bar beatbox right now.
Oh, okay. You're the beatbox king. If anyone's doing this.
James's favorite.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Drives me.
Yeah, Chris, when we're in the car listening to music, he likes to layer on some percussion onto the.
I'm like, yeah,
Existing
sick,
drums.
Sick. This song already has drums, but yeah, it could use a layer of beatbox drums too.
Yeah.
Close,
just
it's
fun.
Santa,
I think on the next album we'll probably lay some over.
Santa
It's
Barbara,
good.
that's California, right? It's like so.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
Cali.
Okay. Well, I'm sure we'll be in that area sometime next year.
Any new
Hopefully.
merch soon? That's an interesting question.
We
Oh.
should have
Um,
some new
we've talked
vinyl
about-
coming up soon.
Oh, yeah, another round
As
of
needed.
vinyls.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
New vinyl pressing. soon.
we've talked about hats before, but we've never really followed through on that. I love hats.
Actually, yeah, if you
No,
guys
no,
are
good
watching
question.
this and you haven't got
Yeah, it has to be cool.
the current pressing, the first pressing of Eternal Embers or the fourth pressing of so those will be gone. Those will be sold out
Yeah,
soon.
those
It'll
are
be
going pretty quick.
the next phase coming out. So
Yeah.
if you want that first press of Eternal Embers,
There's
you should
probably, like,
go
less
for it
than-
soon.
Yeah, that will be out.
Less than 50 of them.
Less than 50 left out of
out of
1,000,
1,000. Yeah. But yeah, new presses of vinyl.
What kind
will
of
be the
merch?
next thing.
What kind of merch would you guys want? Like,
Yeah.
Do you want
Good
hats?
question.
We already have
Yeah,
t-shirts
that's
and
true.
long
I'd be down for
sleeves.
hats.
Hats would be cool.
Sweaters.
It's always
I think
like-
sweaters seem like it'd be like a expensive production.
Yeah, I bet.
Riskier, eh? I don't
I
know.
think riskier.
Going into winter.
They have to be so
No,
expensive.
Yeah.
When you see a sweatshirt at a show, it's like $80. You're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do I need a sweatshirt? Nah.
That's a good point.
That's how I feel. Like
Yeah,
it, but
I don't
maybe
think
other
I've
people
ever
are
bought a
different.
band sweatshirt.
No, as much as it's cool.
I bought a band hat before.
Yeah, that's the
So-
same.
Do you have it here? No.
No, oh, Chris.
Not here.
Chris and I have the same band hat
Loving.
that we often wear.
I love it.
Together, I love it too.
We're loving our loving.
I
hats.
love it. Greetings from Mexico. Would love to have you again soon. Yeah. That
Oh,
was,
you
yeah.
were there. I
Were
guess.
you at
Oh,
the
heck
show?
yeah. That was our
one-
favorite show.
It's one of our favorite shows
Yeah.
ever.
That was
Yeah.
a real bucket
Probably is
list
the favorite show.
experience. Yeah, I think it probably is.
It
Probably is the
definitely
favorite
is.
show. Yeah, it's like-
Definitely.
that was pretty fucking cool. We would love to get back there. I think that's very possible, and will probably happen.
Nice.
What about a collab with Lennon Stella? I don't know Lennon Stella. I can
I'll have to
check
write
that
that
out.
Are we gonna check out Lennon Stella now?
Lennon's done.
It's that easy, guys.
It's like
It looks like a female. She might be a female vocalist. So that would be
Somebody
cool.
was
An idea for a female vocalist.
complimenting
to
us. We
collab
helped them through exams.
Oh,
Glad
yeah,
to
yeah.
hear it. Jamie, you just
I
went through
feel
some
that.
exams.
Yeah, some tough exams. Yeah.
Make hats in your banner color scheme. Yeah, that's a good idea.
That'd be
Oh,
cool.
tote bags, that's a good
I
idea
could see
too.
a beige hat.
Yeah,
Tote
the
bags
shirt.
work well, yeah.
Guitar
The shirt
picks.
is kind of like, well, the shirt is this
It is that
this
color.
design basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
It's
That would
that's
be-
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
the shirt's
yeah.
exactly like this banner right now. But yeah,
Without the
hats would be
cloud.
cool.
Yeah, we had the
Oh
cloud?
yeah.
No cloud.
Oh yeah, we took away
James
the cloud.
wanted to cut the cloud. From
I wanted that cloud out of the shirts.
You wanted full sun.
Whew, thank God you did that.
Yeah.
Would have
God,
been,
boy, did-
would have been screwed.
Disaster.
Oh, that's so weird. Like,
Yeah. We were
That-
talking about that, man.
yeah, it just came in.
Maybe a
Oh.
collab with psychedelic porn crumpets.
Oh, we were just talking about
That's
this.
sick.
Yeah,
it just came out.
They're
I saw
sick.
I saw them play in 2022 at Desert Days and it was sick.
They're great. That's kind of like I'd say a modern classic psych band.
I heard the name. It's another one I've heard.
It's a
the
good
name.
name. You're not going to forget the
uh,
name.
You're not gonna forget the
Yeah.
name, at least.
Yeah.
Guitar picks would be cool. Heck yeah.
How would that work? You have to like.
Just got to get them printed
Like
by somebody.
It's
stickers,
something really
stamps,
easy, yeah.
like,
I
yeah.
assume.
And Vox Red does like.
Oh, yeah,
mixes.
that's
okay.
I think they just give those out. I forget.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I
Kind of
got
like we
one.
give out stickers.
Wouldn't make sense to ship those though, really. Unless,
No,
As
that
a
would be.
single
Yeah. You'd have to like. I don't know.
By
Put in like
pack.
a letter.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Be
I
cheap.
think a lot of people
yes.
just put their names on pics, which is kind of weird, but it's a thing people do.
What do you mean?
Like-
Like a
Like
band
people
name?
just put their actual, like the player's name on the pic.
For the,
Like I think Dan
like the
Auerbach
drum
does that.
sticks or something.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
like
I see.
Dave Grohl drumsticks. Yeah.
I know my mom got a Kiss pic in the 80s that has Ace Frehley on this pic.
Oh, really? Oh,
That's
that's
pretty
fun.
sweet.
Have you ever thought of having an animated music video that tells a story that goes with your songs?
Yes.
Many times.
We
We've
have
actually
thought about it.
been in like full on like pitches for that.
Yeah.
Trying to make that happen. It sort of happened a little bit within You Than Me.
Yeah,
There's
that's
like
a hybrid.
an animated component in there.
Love that video.
But animation is really expensive.
Yeah.
But it's really fucking cool.
That is
I would love to do more
I
of
didn't get
it.
the guy's name.
That's an unfortunate reality.
Yeah, we wanted to work with that.
Drew
Drew T. I can't think of the actual name.
Try down. I forget.
Something like that.
Yeah.
He did this. He's done a bunch of cool stuff, but there's that washed out video for Floating By that's so cool. I love the aesthetics of it. So I was hoping to work with that guy, but
We reached out to some
it
animators.
could
Did we
be
talk to them?
eventually. Yeah, we
Yeah.
talked to his manager.
Yeah.
Music videos, I love music videos, but they're incredibly expensive to make.
Yeah.
And sometimes it feels like
Which is fair, but
in
it's
the
tough.
weird short form era of what we're on right now, then I don't know.
It's hard to justify the cost, sadly, because it's just so fun and fulfilling and
Yeah.
completes the art. I feel to the highest
I
possible
feel like when
point.
we were younger,
Usually.
that was like a huge thing on YouTube
Yeah.
of like, I would find a lot of bands by like the
Yeah.
music video and be like, oh, this is
And on,
really
like,
Yeah,
Punch
like,
Music
And I'm
music
sure to
videos.
some degree it helps, but I feel like it's a minority though. Sadly, that's
Certainly
the
out
problem.
of like the MTV Much Music. era,
Yeah, that
like
was yeah.
video on
Big.
trial
people like watching. Yeah.
world now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you
Definitely.
see video on trial right now?
I can't believe you just said that.
Sup, dudes?
Actually,
Saw, dude.
Stop.
What are your individual hobbies?
One line down.
Silence.
My life is mostly
Let's
music.
go one down.
I really like cooking. I love reading. I'm a big book guy, and I have a
Book
dog that I just love and take him for walks and then otherwise outdoor stuff. Like James and I just went on a big kayak trip recently, hiking. I'd say kayaking is probably one of my favorite
Yeah, so nice.
outdoor things to do though. What about you, Chris?
Yeah,
What do you do?
like outdoorsy stuff, like riding the bike around here or anywhere. Going on hikes a couple times a year at least is good. Camping is always enjoyable. Traveling when possible is always good. I just went to Europe for a month, which was amazing. I've never been there, so that was really sick. Makes me want to go back, even with the band. It'd be sick.
With the band?
That'd be ideal.
Fun.
I like making music in my free time too, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, in reality, music is such a huge part of all of our
Yeah,
kind of
totally.
time and stuff. I make kind of like folk music outside of the band.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do a lot of exercise, different kinds of exercise, working out. I do a lot of kickboxing, played a lot of sports growing up. Still like to do that. Like I'll get out and play tennis and do certain things. And music and hiking, nature, all that stuff.
Yeah, again, a lot of nature stuff. I like kayaking and surfing and hiking, camping. Once our little band session's over today, I'm just gonna jet off and go for a little hike in the camp, which will be nice.
Oh, I guess like going to shows a lot. I try to
yeah.
go to as many shows as possible. Really, it's like always enjoyable to see the best of the best live and get inspired by that too.
If you
And just
live in
enjoy it.
Vancouver, you will probably spot Chris out at your local show.
You will.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I might go to Torrey-Mont tonight. I haven't.
Are you
decided
really?
yet. I might do it. I want to.
That would be sick.
You can't go.
I can't go.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be pretty sick.
Probably should.
Curious from the people in the live chat, have you guys heard the Stripped EP? And if so, what are some of your favorite songs?
Great question.
Well, let's see. In the meantime, anything you're obsessed with at the moment? I like went through a
Musically?
period where I was obsessed with this, and then I was listening to this too much, and then I stopped, and now I'm listening again. But I'm like really obsessed with these Dope Lemon records.
Oh yeah, he
It's
is.
just
Yeah.
like-
I'm gonna try to look on my.
I can't. I just fucking love the vibe so much, and it's pretty obsessed with that right now.
Yeah.
Kayaking.
I can't think of what I'm obsessed with.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Yeah,
I've been away for like the last 5 weeks. I haven't been home to have a routine again. Just been constant to go.
Yeah,
say-
recently it's not
For me,
it's tough.
A theme for me this year has, I mean, obviously I've always been a fan of the Beatles, but
I was
I've
just
been,
gonna
like,
say-
yeah.
super
Actually,
obsessed with the Beatles.
I
this year,
agree.
like,
That's actually what I was gonna say too.
George Harrison solo stuff specifically as well. I'm
Okay, yeah.
deeply obsessed with that.
I watched the.
I steal that too. I was obsessed with the Beatles even when I was away. I went to Liverpool and did like a huge deep dive of Beatles history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
I watched the Get Back for the first time this year, the documentary for the first time
So,
on tour earlier. Actually, no, it was last year.
you also
Late
went to
last year. Yeah, on tour
Oh,
last year.
nice.
And then I watched a bunch of it
Good.
again.
Fan.
And that
Yeah,
kind of got
same,
me,
yeah.
and that got me into
That's
the
ridiculous.
Beatles again, like super obsessed with them, listening to all the discography. And Chris showed me Love, which I listened
the
to like
remix album?
3 or 4
Yeah,
times.
sick.
It's really awesome.
I
And
still honestly
and then
haven't
some
really
solo
delved into
stuff.
it.
It's
Just
really,
being
really cool.
obsessed with the Beatles.
Yeah,
It's really
no, it's something.
fun.
It's really fun.
Really
It's
cool.
really cool.
Beautiful.
Edits and yeah.
And
So I
George
would
Martin
say
did it, which is even cooler.
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
actually feels like it's a.
that's cool.
This
Correct.
sort of ties into the Beatles
Cliche.
conversation.
That would be
Have you thought of having an album with an exaggerated theme, as if you guys were playing
Huh.
as characters?
Sergeant Pepper.
Yeah.
We
Sergeant Pep.
have not really thought about that. I mean, like James kind of said it before. Typically, for us, the music always comes first, and not to diminish the importance of lyrics, but lyrics are usually that's the second step in the process. We'll even get melodies down to like the
Syllables.
syllables,
Sounds.
some
sometimes
sounds
some
and
trapping.
stuff, and then kind of figure it out from there. So
It's interesting though.
big
'cause,
concept character kind of stuff isn't on my radar personally, but
It's a fun idea to think of it. Like
It is a
maybe
fun
if you're
idea,
trying,
but-
maybe if you're writing a song, maybe try to think of yourself as someone else and see what you
Yeah.
write. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
That could open up more doors than just maybe,
Yeah.
especially after 3 albums.
Exactly. I was gonna
It's
say
like maybe it's enough of what you think or what you're seeing.
I feel like
Maybe try to
lyrically,
like put yourself in someone else's shoes or something.
yeah. I feel like lyrically we're always pretty much all the songs you're like, it's like us singing. Like there is
Mhm.
no
Very
level
true.
of character, but it's like it would be interesting to see what you could do. With
it's
it
true.
more.
We don't really have many like narrative songs.
Not really.
if any, do we?
No,
I guess
not
flow-
like
guys
the
are
song
really
flow
writing-
is sort of like less.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
more about an idea than
Yeah.
yourself.
The fire, I guess, a little bit to an extent is like a
I get. Yeah, that's true. Actually, the fire.
narrative situation, but metaphorical.
It's more,
to your
yeah, it's
own
more
life.
like putting your. It's like still being me, but like putting yourself in an imaginary situation.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
not-
But it is
And
you.
yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong too. Like we kind of like from where we come from with the music, it's less of like it's more like thematically us obviously writing from our perspective about things, but it's less of like I think we're less comfortable than other bands of it being like about us in a way. You know, it's kind of like we don't. I don't know, like we kind of like to let the music stand for
metaphor.
itself, right? A lot of metaphor, a lot of like other than when we're playing live, you know, we don't tend to like put our faces on covers. We don't tend to like market us as like personally, other than like
Yeah.
you know when we have
Yeah.
to. So I feel like us going into characters would be less likely than you know
Yeah.
maybe writing from something from a different perspective or something where we
You're
don't
not like
you know,
literally characters.
Yeah,
I
literally
don't
pushing.
picture that.
I mean,
Yeah,
the lyrics are
like a
definitely
couple.
very personal.
The-
Like it's
oh, I
me
know.
feeling these
Oh,
things, but
100%.
You're right. Like
I just
yeah,
mean
it's not really
marketing wise, you know,
music
like us
first.
To be like Sergeant Pepper.
It'd be Sergeant
Pepper,
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't imagine you do that.
Fab
Exactly.
Four.
Yeah. That's what. Yeah. Exactly.
You're the
That-
buff one.
Which one was that in the Beatles?
Yeah.
None
Are
of
you
them.
guys?
None of them. Yeah.
Are we guys Canucks fans?
I was cheering for the Canucks
By
in the
default.
last run.
By default.
Yeah.
Well, these
I
guys
live
don't
in
really
Vancouver.
watch
I don't really
many
follow
sports,
hockey.
so
I was rooting for them when they were in the Olympics.
I know,
Sorry,
right?
when they were in the playoffs. When they were in the playoffs, I was obviously rooting for them.
Yeah.
And then I was rooting
Yeah.
for the Oilers by default after them.
Chris, there's a Canucks doormat.
But I don't really
there.
care. Yeah, that's true. I don't care too much, no. I don't care.
I love watching hockey. But I grew up a
Playoffs
Canucks
are
fan when I was young, but I switched allegiances to Montreal Canadiens.
The heck.
I
Did you?
actually had a drum teacher that was
Sorry.
super huge Habs fan, and and I loved the Habs for a long time, and I still do. They're still my number one team.
That was my dad's team growing up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're great. But I don't mind the
From there,
Canucks.
right?
Yeah.
Or
No,
something
no,
else?
no.
You
I
just
think,
chose?
well, I think
Like
it was
to see
before
them
the
do well.
Canucks were a team.
Oh,
He was
okay, well,
watching
that's fair
back,
then.
like,
That
Someone
makes sense.
says,
back in the day.
Yeah.
what tuning/tunings do you guys normally gravitate toward? Is there a reason behind the tunings you use?
Drop
Ooh.
D.
I feel like most of the time, it's
Mostly just standard.
Yeah.
I think everything recorded is standard.
Except
Oh
for
no, that's true.
Hummingbird.
Hummingbird.
You
Yeah,
drop
talk about
something
Hummingbird
live.
tuning.
Drop D for one.
For
Only
absence
because
seed?
it's only
No,
because
it's
Not even on the record. It's like
on the record it's just all lower, but then to get away with it live, I just do the drop D to make it
No,
easier.
you do drop D on
Blossoms.
Blossoms and absence seed, right?
The thing with Blossoms is that song doesn't even have that guitar like that on the record necessarily. It's just different for live.
I think the only
yeah.
thing that is an actual different tuning is Hummingbird in the Garden.
Yeah.
And for that one, I was like, I think I'd been playing. My girlfriend had like no, this would have been before then. I think I was trying to tune my guitar to like a ukulele tuning. Was the idea behind it.
and that just happened.
what is ukulele tuning, James?
I
You
should not fucking remember. Yeah, but it's I have it written down on my phone because I don't. It's like me
Right.
playing each string because it's like I'm gonna forget how to fucking
It
tune
is.
it.
That's hilarious. Sounds great though. You
I like
nailed
that
the
one.
execution.
Soak my head has my heart. You have our heart for saying that.
I'd say fun fact when Chris Soak My Head was probably one of the earliest demos I heard
Pretty early too, yeah.
out of like the Eternal Embers batch.
It's my initial favorite.
It was my initial favorite too. I was like, this is our hit.
Yeah.
This is it.
I'm glad that
It's taking us
people.
to the big time.
Yeah, I'm glad that people
I wasn't actually.
I'm glad
I
that
did
people
love it.
are liking it now. Like it seems to be getting.
Yeah.
Like it's
It's a great
due.
summer tune.
I do
It's a
really like
different song than
it.
everything
Yeah,
else.
I've had a lot of people tell me that they're like that's one of their favorites.
That's
cool.
You know, even Colin from Loham, that's his
That's
favorite.
true.
so-
It is.
No,
true.
yeah.
You did say that.
It's a good tempo.
Yeah.
It's a good vibe.
And-
Instrumentation is
120,
different,
Chris
which
just-
is kind of fun.
He just opened up the Ableton session and didn't change
120.
it.
120 is the magic tempo. That must be why it's
Yeah.
like
I
the
wonder why I did
default.
that. Yeah, because
Ableton.
I tinkered with that before I used a metronome, and then I don't know. I guess it just happened to be around that
It's just
tempo.
a-
that made
oh,
I've
yeah.
it.
heard it
It
must
described
be.
as like 120 is the perfect BPM between like
Uh-huh.
rockin' and dance.
Right.
It's like right when you're
Rockin'.
in the middle.
Because I definitely have voice memos for that before I even hit record on Ableton.
I'd be curious.
Yeah,
Do you
I'm
have a
curious.
voice?
I have it
We should find
somewhere.
that.
Yeah.
Any other Aussie indie bands you guys into?
Pond.
Pond, obviously.
Big time.
Babe Rainbow's a good one.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Oh god.
King Giz,
Yeah.
classic. I just downloaded that new album. I haven't heard it yet.
I haven't- I
Not
can't
quite
keep up.
Aussie, but
Yeah.
Yumi Zuma from New Zealand is great.
Chet Baker's fucking.
Oh,
sweet.
there you go. Yeah.
Is Conan Moxon? He's Australian.
Is he? I'm not sure.
Thought he was
He
Australian.
might be.
What
We
else?
said Tim and Paul.
Like,
Like,
oh
Yeah, obviously.
I
We might have
yeah.
it's assumed then.
Who
all
else?
the Tame Impala
Yeah, all the
band
tempo
members, like
offshoots.
Yeah,
offshoots,
all the
like
offshoots,
the growl,
Gum.
The
Yeah.
Growl
Gum.
Gum. Yeah.
Which one was he?
I feel like there's some.
Cam Avery's.
I feel like
The
I'm
Growl.
forgetting something.
Julian Barbagello.
Oh, I really
I
like
guess he's
that.
French actually. Never mind.
Is it just called Nicholas? What's the guy?
I think it's just his name.
The Pond guy?
No, not
Oh.
Albrook. Oh no, it's like Simon, but it's like with a Z.
Is he
Oh,
Australian?
I remember
that's
you
Australian.
showed me
So
that.
good.
That was really good.
Very good. SZYMON.
Yeah.
Simon.
What's the strangest starting off point you guys have had for a song?
Ooh,
It's probably something.
good
It's a weird
question.
The fire. I remember the fire was like that. I don't know if that's that strange, but it was like that A section for a long time.
Oh, like that, the sequence.
Yeah,
Do,
this weird sequence
yeah.
that we couldn't recreate.
That's true. Yeah, James demoed that song and that intro and all that, and we could not get the synth to behave the same way ever again. Quite. So
Yeah.
So we just
used it like it was a found sample.
I think we changed the pitch.
Oh, we
at some
changed the
point
pitch.
too,
We did
so
change the
like we
pitch.
had to like
because the
pitch
vocals
that
were just
sample.
too high.
Way too high.
Yeah.
So we salvaged it.
That's a good.
Strange.
It's the only time that synth actually did that
I don't think there's
exactly.
anything else weird.
It's not
starting.
Yeah, not necessarily.
Cisco's favorite right now is the fire. Nice 3-day-old fan, and they like the fire. I like that.
Oh,
Nice.
into the
It's a
deep
nice
tracks
hidden gem. Nice
immediately.
deep
I love
track.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like that's a deep cut.
that's a good deep cut. One of my favorite deep cuts.
Maybe the
Pretty sure
absence
Dope
C
one
is a
of them played
little
later.
Oh yeah, the absence because we smashed two together.
Yeah,
It was
we
kind
had
of the
like that
starting
A
point.
section,
Yeah.
and then James had this
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's like very different than what the ending sounds
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
That ending is a James demo that was like very kind of like
It's like ballady.
slow and ballady.
Oh,
and,
that's
like,
a good answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
almost
We smashed-
chill in a
yeah.
way, but it had
Yeah.
this like chord progression that we thought
It's
that
funny
we just
because
loved and
the
wanted to
music
use.
is there with like the fast picking and stuff, but it's in such a different
The
Vibes,
vibes,
yeah.
different.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
pretty cool actually how that can work.
And then another cool beginning, like released right at the beginning. Maybe not strange, but the On Your Own thing at Cypress, right? That's just a cool like
Oh
start.
yeah, that was cool.
That's like on a
Yeah,
mountain kind of.
that's at
Yeah.
the mountain where we recorded the strip sessions. That's like halfway up the mountain or something. But then if you go all the way to the top, you can hike up to the top. And there used to be, it's gone now, unfortunately, but there used to be like a little chairlift thing. Which one day I was hiking up there and I noticed that the door was open and then there was like a microwave in there. I was like, oh, there's power in here. So then,
Oh, I can cook on the microwave.
so
I could
I
even
went
do
back
this.
up there with a bunch of music gear and then like just sat up there and camped at the top of the mountain and made some demos. And then that's when the part of On Your Own happened.
Demo?
That's a good
plural?
answer.
Was there anything else from that?
I don't think anything made it into a song, but there's like a bunch of ideas.
Yeah, there's a cool loop in there though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Luigi, for the love, for the music, and oh, we got some love from It Could Grow Anywhere strip version. I guess that was from the
Nice.
question that we would strip versions they
Yeah.
like the
Yeah,
most.
it's one of our
That's a great one.
favorites
That's
from
probably my favorite too. Any book recommendations? Ian could give some good ones. I would give The Wager if you want some really cool historical book. It's amazing. It's a true story, but it's
Oh.
kind of novelized based off of like journals.
Recommendations.
And then I would also say right now I'm reading Flea Acid for the Children if you want a musical memoir, which is amazing.
Super good.
Ooh. My favorite author of all time, I've talked about him before in various ways,
This is what I was expecting.
Cormac McCarthy.
There you go.
I snuck in a little, not didn't sneak by you guys, but I did a
Yeah.
reference in Absence C to Blood Meridian. Our meridian is soaked in the blood of a soul and sun. I think that Blood Meridian is like my favorite book of all time.
So
It's James likes it too. You guys should read it.
I gotta read it. I'm gonna be next.
It's just a stunning book. A very violent, very dark book, but I think just essential reading for anybody who is interested in, I guess, like American literature. I'd
Yeah.
say.
I love anything Steinbeck. John Steinbeck is great.
Yeah.
I feel like Grapes of Wrath is my favorite.
Used to be
But,
amazing.
Yeah, it's like
What's your
less
favorite?
known. Grapes of Wrath is probably my favorite, but like
Mm.
a less known one is probably like To a God Unknown. That one's really
Mm.
cool. I really like that one. Yeah. I want to read more fiction, but
Yeah,
I
you're a
don't know, I
nonfiction boy.
I'm always in the nonfiction now.
I switch
don't
back
really-
and forth.
Yeah, I don't
like,
really read as much as I should, but what I've read this year was Rick Rubin's
nice.
A Creative Act, which I really recommend. I really like that book.
Yeah, the audiobook.
It's and the audiobook's good too, actually. If you want to hear him
Boom.
read it.
Yeah.
But it's actually really, honestly, I kind of want to read it again just because it's every time I get reading stuff on it, it's kind of inspiring. Like it makes you want to like do more stuff. Actually, it's funny.
I feel like it's very useful. I feel like people seem to either really like that book or really dislike it. But,
Yeah, I'm confused by the hate on it though. I find it
I
useful.
really-
I find it
I find it
inspiring.
really useful and
Even if you
inspiring.
already think you agree with it, it's still good to hear it again.
I like to go back and forth between like fiction and nonfiction. Like the last couple of years, I did a lot of nonfiction. But then when I went back to studying, like I just couldn't do nonfiction on top of that. So that's when I started
I
reading
see.
like
That
The
kinda
Wager
makes
and
sense.
you know, just
Escape.
a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, a break from that. And
Yeah, funny.
but for nonfiction, like there's a lot of really cool books on psychology now. Like Living Untethered is really cool by Michael Singer. Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck is amazing as well.
I really didn't like that book.
Really?
Yeah,
I liked it. I
really
thought it was
didn't
good.
like it.
Yeah.
I'll throw one more in. One of my favorite books I read this year is by a guy named Dennis Johnson. It's called Train Dreams. It's like a novella, so it's very short and manageable, but just beautiful writing. I just loved it.
Someone says, this is something personal for you all. How long do you think a person or band must persist in the music business to make a living from it? That's a great question. If you have an answer, please let us know.
Yeah, that's
We're not there
We're
yet.
kind of still pursuing that. We're
That's
doing okay, but
Yeah,
it's all four of us making
it takes
a full
a lot
living
of
is
effort.
not
it's a very
the
very
reality.
fickle industry, and you kind of have to like just really, really want to do it, and you will put up with a large amount of soul crushing.
Yeah.
Like
Rejection.
yeah, it's like a lot of rejection and like hard work that can feel aimless at times, but then often pays off later in ways you wouldn't imagine. And
I think it's
I'd
also
say
very
it's
different.
also so much
It's been
luck
said
too.
by many people before, and I think it's true. Is if you're doing it for money, it's not likely a good idea to do it because it's just not really. It's just not the game to play with this kind of industry. I think
You know, it's
gotta be
super
about-
rare. It's super rare to actually get to a point where you can make a full living
Yeah.
from music. Like I think it's
Yeah.
the percentage is really small.
And it just,
Especially as a band.
I feel like
Yeah.
if you're in,
yeah, especially as a band. Yeah.
basically it's got to be mainly about the creativity and art output in itself above
Yeah.
all else. And if you can manage just doing that, then that's probably the best bet. And I guess we're obviously trying to be able to keep doing that. So as long as we can keep doing that, we
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
I mean, we do this because
If we can make money doing it, then we'll be able to do it longer, basically.
That being said, too, I think it's different. Like
At least to this level.
there's no right answer to that question because some bands, you know, their first album will be a huge hit, and then you know they're set and they're good. And some bands, you know, like even like the Black Keys, who make it to that level where you know they're super well off from their music. It took 10 or so years or more, and so sometimes it's a long grind, and then you hit it. Sometimes you hit it right away, and sometimes you grind forever and you never hit it.
Some people
it could really
deserve
be.
to hit it, and they just
Some
don't.
tons of people deserve to hit it, and they never do.
Some stuff we hear
Some stuff
feels
we
like
hear.
it shouldn't be that.
Yeah. So it's really,
Yeah.
it's totally like kind of no straight answer to that, really. But,
Some people
yeah.
get lucky with like their song being used in like a reel or whatever crap like that.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That can boost
That
them.
changes everything. Yeah.
Sometimes I
showing
think
your
like
age.
if someone was to like ask you like what advice would you have for being in a band, then I feel like it's kind of douchey, but the thing I would say is like don't do it, don't be in a band, and then if their reaction is to go but hear me out here, but then if their reaction is to go like, oh fuck you, I'm gonna do it anyway, then you should probably do it.
Yeah.
Like if you kind of gotta want to do it enough to just be like face that amount of rejection
And
and grind.
grind. Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good answer. So we thought about sampling sounds for our songs. Not consciously too much, I don't think. Sampling. I mean, there's
I mean, thought about it. Oh, I see.
like
Sampling,
actual
not really.
like other music sampling. Not
I
really.
love like the art of sampling.
Me too,
I think
yeah.
it's like an
Yeah, it is
incredible
cool.
thing.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I messed around with like hip hop beats before, and I love sampling and stuff. But in terms of for our music, I don't think I've ever come across a sampler as like we have to use this, and we gotta pay for this sample.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just not.
Not
I
my
feel
mind.
like
There's a thing for
if
melts.
we're like creating our own like,
sampling
found
ourselves is
sound
fun. Yeah.
kind of thing, like that would be cool, or like
Sure.
recording sounds that aren't necessarily musical.
Actually,
and, like,
a good
chopping
example of like using our own thing would be for when the smoke abates. There's kind of like that like sampled guitar.
oh yeah,
Oh yes,
thing.
that's It's
We
fun
just like
technique.
took one of our solos and we're just like
put it
playing
onto a
around
drum rack and then triggered random chops of guitar and then
That's our own sample.
made it melodic.
Yeah, it's like it's just like
Sampling
took one of our solos. And
Yeah.
chopped
I've done
it in
that
a
with
really
like vocals
interesting way.
recently just for fun too. It's kind of cool. If
Yeah.
you can't think of a melody, sing a bunch of notes and sounds and then just put it onto a pad and then
Oh, you did for that one
trigger the like that one.
Yeah, vocal chop riser.
Yeah, that. It's
gotta-
not necessarily.
we gotta
It's
check
just
out
kind of
the
a fun way to
Preachers.
fuck with it though.
The Preachers from Australia. You guys know the Preachers from Australia, the band?
I don't know.
We should
No.
check them out.
Yeah.
We got a
We
recommendation.
got Stella.
We'll have to
What was
write
it
that
about?
down.
Oh,
and
and
see.
Mild Life. I
We'll write that down.
I've definitely heard them. I can't think of it though.
any albums that are coming this year inspiring you right now? I got
Albums out this year?
yeah.
Oh,
The new Tycho singles. I just listened to those properly yesterday, which I was really loving.
I have a few that I
Let me
really
see.
My
liked.
phone's not on me because
Kinda-
filming.
The Sam Evian
There's a couple.
Oh,
of
yeah.
Preachers.
album I really liked. Hold on, I have a little. Let's see.
I think I'm
The
always-
new
I feel
Loving
like I'm
The
always
new
late to
Loving
the
album I really love. The new Adrian Lanker album. Is that how you say her name? Lanker?
I think so.
Really like that. Oh, the new Starfucker album. That was really good.
Oh yeah, is that this year? Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
This year?
Or no, it was actually end of 2023 though.
Is that true? No.
Yeah.
The album came out this year.
Oh.
Really? I think.
It was kind of
November.
there's this album called "This Wasn't Meant for You Anyway" by Lola Young, which is pretty cool.
Oh, and Terra Incognita has been
Low
on
Hum.
repeat for me by Low Hum. That's been really sick.
Yeah,
Oh, that
pretty sick.
LA Priest EP was really good.
Oh, that was this
La
year, yeah.
Priest.
La Priest.
La Fusion.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So there's some. Oh, was that Loving album this year?
Yeah, I love it.
I
yeah.
said that one.
Yeah.
Love that. I swear that Starfucker album was this year.
Which song did
So
you
curious.
prefer stripped? Which song
2024,
do you feel was
yeah.
better
What's
in
the date?
Internal Embers? I don't know if I.
March
I
5th.
Oh,
You're just wrong.
Must
don't know
have
if I
been 60
prefer
singles,
or think that. I don't know. They're just different. Yeah, I like them both for different reasons. I
What's
feel
the
like the
question,
Eternal, like
For basically, is there any
Which
any
song you prefer stripped?
rather than
which
full?
song you feel was better in Eternal
Oh,
Embers.
I see.
Oh.
I mean, obviously, like I feel like Eternal Embers sort of is like the definitive version, like.
Mhm.
But then I love the stripped versions too.
I
Yeah,
would
we're-
personally say I prefer the album version, obviously, but yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
I
nice
think
to have
I
them.
think overall, the album versions, I think.
It could go anywhere as close to me for me.
Yeah,
I would
that's
say
totally
for
fair.
one or
Like
the
I
other,
think
but
I
they're-
think like sometimes when I go for the album versions
Pretty
like
close.
that, like James says, that's the definitive version. I think that you'd have to go with if you were gonna choose one to listen to for the rest of your life. But that being said, like sometimes you switch the strip sessions and you go, wow, this is like so fresh and different, and it's really like a different experience, and it's for a different mood, and it can be just as, if not more, sometimes nice to listen to, going back and forth.
Probably got time for a
Well, you
few
just
more
it's pretty much an
questions,
hour
so-
now anyway. So
Should we
You guys got any-
finish up the ones that are on here, and if anyone wants to ask any other questions, we can get to maybe a few more, and then
pretty much.
check out the
No more
hails.
There's actually only
Yes.
one more question anyway. So
And then after this, we'll be right back into working on demos.
Yeah,
In this
and
room.
in this room.
Yeah, it's true.
The hails we should check out apparently.
Yeah.
So it
You
says
write these
clean
things
budgie. I have them on my Spotify.
nice.
Nice.
How do you find art for album covers? We actually do a lot of initially when we initially found some Soli, we found that cover on Pinterest. And we did a lot of hours on Pinterest. Me and Chris were when we found
Putting some
yeah.
I did, like
there.
it was supposed to be a mood board or like
yeah.
inspiration board, but then we just thought that image was so cool.
Yeah.
We thought, is this like possible to
I
license
think Chris and I found it like 2 or 3 hours into just saving stuff on Pinterest, and we had a few other things we really liked as well. But this was one of the things we liked the most, if not the most, and it also was available and it wasn't too expensive. And then that same artist did our art for all the singles and
this?
albums after that. And the album after that. And so
That's pretty much
So
it.
check out Roosevelt. Love Roosevelt.
Yeah,
oh,
we
yes.
love Roosevelt,
Oh,
yeah.
I had to
Yeah.
sell a ticket to that when we were touring, sadly. I had a ticket to go to that show and I couldn't
I
go.
don't think I know.
it's very caribou-y.
Oh,
good.
Oh, cool.
Funky.
It's funky too, some
Like
funky beats.
I think that's
Probably
that might be it.
That's all, yeah.
questions. Thanks you guys so
Yeah,
much
thanks
for
you guys.
joining us.
Yeah.
And
Appreciate you guys coming.
on.
hope you guys like the stripped EP and
Yeah, it's
Oh,
available
yeah,
now.
and
Check it
keep
out.
your ears peeled. We're going to have the little 5-year Swim Soli anniversary thing come out. A couple things
Yeah.
coming up soon for that.
Yeah, this
So
fall is some
celebrate the 5th year.
cool new stuff from some slowly kind of 5-year
Surprises
edition.
coming out.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
definitely keep an eye out for that. Should come out in the fall. A couple things in the fall, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you guys.
so much.
Thank
Turn this
you.
thing on.
See y'all.
You're still on, Chris.